Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Groovy Denza with Atlanta News First Plus on your Monday morning. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. If you were out and about yesterday, you know it was hot, right? The humidity was really thick. Let me tell you, as we give you a live look outside at Marietta Square, it looks beautiful right now, clear blue skies, but don't let that fool you because if you step outside today, you're certainly going to feel the heat and the humidity. As a matter of fact, it's going to be far worse than even yesterday. We, according to the First Alert weather team here at Atlanta News First, are under an excessive heat warning. That doesn't happen very often, so we just definitely want to remind you to take that really seriously. You know, we tell you all the time, hey, it's going to be hot, the humidity is going to be high, but that excessive heat warning, just to put things in perspective, we've not had one of those in almost 11 years, okay? So that's not just the heat, that is the humidity combined with it. So, you know, you might say, well, it's going to be 96 today. Maybe that's what the temperature says, but when you step outside and you're in it, it's going to feel more like somewhere around 110 degrees. That is oppressive, and it can certainly be quite dangerous. So we just want you to be aware of that. Our weather team, of course, is going to be keeping track of all of that for you throughout the day. The good news is we don't have any storms in the forecast, right? So just if you can, stay indoors. Try to avoid being outside, especially if you have asthma or some other underlying conditions. We do have much better temperatures headed for later in the week. So stick with us throughout the day today. We'll be updating those for you. When it comes to the news stories today, we've been talking about it for quite some time. The big story that we are watching today, of course, is the potential that Donald Trump could be indicted here in Georgia. If that happens, it would be his fourth federal indictment. A major step in that local criminal case happening today. People all across the world are watching this. The Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, is expected to start presenting evidence today to a federal grand jury regarding that alleged election interference in Georgia's 2020 election. Remember that infamous phone call that was made to then Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger? Atlanta News First's Rebecca Schramm has been following this story from the very beginning. She has been on top of it. She has a look right now at what's happening right now at the Fulton County Courthouse.
Security is extraordinarily tight, not just inside the Fulton County Courthouse, but also outside. You can see they've got Pryor Street blocked off right here in front of the courthouse, and they've got several law enforcement officers keeping watch over this area. This is the day we expect Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis will begin presenting evidence that could lead to criminal charges against former President Donald Trump and some of his associates over their attempts to interfere in Georgia's 2020 election. It's possible Willis will present a case of racketeering, but of course everything that happens in a grand jury room is supposed to be conducted in secret, so we won't know for sure until an indictment is announced. Two people have confirmed, however, that they have been called to testify tomorrow, including independent journalist George Cheedy, who stumbled upon a meeting at the Georgia Capitol where Republicans were gathered to cast alternate ballots for Trump. The other is former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan.
I did just receive notification to appear on Tuesday morning at the Fulton County Grand Jury, and I certainly will be there to do my part in recounting the facts.
On December 14th, I saw what we are calling the fake electors doing their thing, and I need to be able to describe that so that that grand jury has all the information they need to in order to make a decision one way or another.
Now, in the past, it has taken 2 days for DA Willis to present racketeering cases to grand juries, so it's possible we could know by tomorrow evening if there are any indictments. In downtown Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Let's talk about the economy a little bit. I went to the grocery store yesterday. I don't know how many of you maybe use Sunday afternoon or evening to prepare for your family for the week. That's what we do. We get ready for breakfast and lunch and, try to meal plan as much as we possibly can. And I was at my local grocery store, and I'm, got my buggy full of food, and I'm going down through the aisles, and this older gentleman stopped me, recognized me from Atlanta News First, and he just stopped to say, he watched us, which, thank you, by the way, in Macedonia, in Cherokee County. But he was saying, gosh, everything is so expensive. Everything, he said to me, have you been down the paper aisle? And I kind of chuckled and I said, well, normally I go to Walmart or like a bigger box store for those type of items, and I stick to the grocery store to get the things that I need. But we were both just bemoaning the fact that that really things have been so tight. Fuel prices, I think that was, how much did I pay the other day? Like $3.69, and then I got a little bit of a discount with my card. There is a potential that we may get just a little bit of a break, okay? So a lot of economic analysts believe that things may be headed in the right direction. The Federal Reserve, when it meets next, may hold interest rates steady. That is going to be next month. Listen to this. The average American family spent about $700 more in July compared to what we spent 2 years ago to buy the exact same thing, the exact same goods and services. This is according to Moody's Analytics. Now, the main cause for consumers forking out all that money is still that high inflation. So in an attempt to curb those rising prices, of course, the Federal Reserve has hiked interest rates 11 times since March of 2022. You remember when they were like at 3%? Now they're above 7%. The CME FedWatch tool says the financial markets think that there is a nearly 90% chance that the central bank may hold rates steady come September, but again, we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. There is a little bit of good news when it comes to airfares. Doesn't it always happen that way, right? School starts back up, the summer travel season slows down, airfares drop. What are you going to do? Your kids are in school. The latest data from travel site Hopper says the average domestic round trip, so if you're traveling domestically, you're probably going to pay somewhere around $257 round trip for a ticket. That's down 11% compared to last year, but they say that those prices usually do drop off late in the summer, and there's a potential that they will go up again, right about the time fall break starts. Isn't that about timely, right? Want to turn to a landmark here in Atlanta. Y'all know the Big Chicken? It is celebrating a major milestone, okay? So we're talking about the Big Chicken. A lot of you know it. A lot of you probably have used that as possibly what do you call it, a marker to tell people how to get to where they need to go. That 56-foot tall bird turned 60 years old yesterday, so they had a big old party. So for 6 decades, we've been using that googly-eyed bird to give people directions. You get to the Big Chicken and you turn right? Well, Hubert Puckett, who designed the Big Chicken, is celebrating his own milestone. He turned 90.
Oh, it's great. I'm very surprised it became such a big landmark. At the time we designed it and sold it back in 1963, we had no idea it would become famous and be a landmark.
Well, it has. So, Mr. Puckett, thank you for that. Here's a little fun fact you might not know. Right now, it's right there at the KFC, right? That's where that's located. But when it was first built, it was known as Johnny Reb's Chick, Chuck, and Shake. So a little bit of history for you.
Atlanta News First. Surprise.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. We want to leave you with a really good news story, okay? I do Surprise Squad. It's an opportunity for us here at Atlanta News First to go out and really recognize people who are doing good things in their communities. There is an organization up in Forsyth County. Actually, they're expanding a little bit, but they serve people, families, and young adults with special needs. And these are young people who have aged out of the system and otherwise may not have someplace else to go. Now, since they started, they have outgrown their building. The woman behind it had no idea we were coming to surprise her. Take a look.
Atlanta News First Surprise Squad is sponsored by United Community, Bieber Toyota of Cumming, and Van Sant Law Accident Attorneys.
Love and learning is happening in these rooms.
This is my son, actually. This is Parker. He's 27.
A safe place for him to come and grow and learn to be a responsible adult.
At Creative Enterprises, young adults with special needs who age out of the system are getting education and skills training.
And Jordan needs community, and helping him with his first job.
Helping me him.
You have your first job
Help me
coming up?
first jobs.
Yeah. So they do a lot of
grocery
great things
store.
here.
What else did we do?
So that's really the main goal versus just being cooped up at home with us, trying to, get through the day.
Hey, Lisa! Hey, Eddie.
At the heart of it all
How are you today?
is Lisa Bennett.
So when I was 16, I was watching Marcus Welby, MD. On his show, he had a little boy with Down syndrome. And from then on, I have been just
Hooked on caring for those with special needs.
Hi, guys.
She spent 35 years in special ed programs in Forsyth and Gwinnett County schools. 6 years ago, Lisa found herself here. But it almost didn't happen when she was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
And I felt like God had said, I'm going to let you live, even though you shouldn't have. But this is what I want you to do.
The program has run out of this old church since 2016.
We started out with 6 people, and now we've grown to 100.
But now there's a waiting list, and they're trying to raise money for a new building next door. We've got a little surprise for you.
Oh.
Can you come over here, please? That's where the Atlanta News First Surprise Squad comes in.
So happy to be a part of your journey with you. Thank you so much. Our hearts are full and just really appreciate all you've done.
So on behalf of United Community, we are donating $2,000 to hopefully your new building. We're just so grateful for all that you do, and we're happy to be a part.
Thank you. I mean, every day is a blessing for us here. And just having people that want to help us and help this population is what it's all about.
Giving families what we all want, hope and a future.
It's hard to have special needs kids. I'm going to cry.
For the Atlanta News First Surprise Squad,
He wants the same thing every other child wants.
I'm Gurveer Dinsa. I tell you, there are some really special people out there, and she is definitely one of them. Their goal is to raise $1 million so they can break ground. They actually have leased that church where they're currently operating for the past 6 years. They've paid $1, right? But they bought the property next door, and so they're hoping to break ground on that new building this fall. Their goal is to raise $1 million. And our little drop in the bucket hopefully helped, and you can help out too. So we put a link where you can donate on the Atlanta News First website, so we hope you get a chance to check that out. Hey, listen, this is a brand new week. We hope it's going to be an awesome one. Get through today. Make sure you stay safe out there with this excessive heat warning. Jennifer Valdez will have more on that coming your way at noon. And thanks for watching.